Hey, Tammy, you there? I'm really sorry to have to do this over text, but I think we should cancel our wedding. I've fallen in love with your sister, and I want to marry her instead.
Wait, what? Rick, what in the world are you talking about? Are you serious about this?
Of course I am. I've never seen a more beautiful woman in all my life. I knew when I went over to your house to meet your parents that I had to make her mine. I mean, she was just so gorgeous. It really was love at first sight.
And what about the love that we've built between us after all this time? I know that my sister is a lovely, beautiful girl who is super popular and all, but you're not really going to leave me for her, are you?
I'm sorry, but I've already made up my mind, and I'm gonna marry your sister Tiffany instead. I think she's gonna make the perfect wife to brag about to my friends.
But I don't get it. So you really just want to call it all off just like that? Even after you've already met my family and everything, you're still going to leave me for my own sister?
I know that all this might come to a shock to you now, but you should know that she was the one that started coming on to me.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that after I got back from meeting your family, she started to text me. She told me that she wanted to marry me as well. Well, she begged me to leave you and choose her instead, and, well, obviously, I wasn't about to turn down such a lovely lady. Besides, the more I talked to her, the more I realized that she really is my type.
Hold on just a second here. You mean, she was the one who approached you?
That's right. I think it's most fair to say that we found each other, but whatever the case, the point is that we're going to be getting married. So I really just don't need you anymore. That's that.
I don't believe this is happening to me. To think that my own sister stole my fiancé from me. I mean, you literally only met my parents today. Are you telling me that you really decided all of this in less than a day?
Hey, you should just count yourself lucky that I bothered to say anything to you about it at all, really. So what if I marry your sister? She's beautiful, and I'm about to start my new position as a CFO for a huge company. I'm sure that your parents don't really care which of their daughters marries a rich guy like me, so I think it's perfect.
I don't even know what to say to that. You're just horrible, Rick.
Horrible or not, I'm gonna get away with this. After all, I'm my parents' only son, so they have to go along with whatever I want. And I'm sure if I tell them I found my true love, that they would never criticize me. Especially when they see just how much prettier your sister is than you.
That's not even what I'm talking about. How could you do this to someone else? Don't you realize how wrong this is? Do you really think that both our parents are going to go along with this?
Well, I just got a message from Tiffany telling me that your parents don't care. At all. If anything, they're happy that your sister and I are together since we make such a better looking couple.
How can this be happening? I don't even know what to think right now.
I know that your sister's excited to be marrying a handsome CFO like me, though. Sure, some people might talk behind our backs, but when they see just how good a couple Tiffany and I really are, everyone will realize why we had to be together. They'll realize that I could never have had a happy marriage with you, when your sister was right there this whole time.
That's a disgusting thing to say. I thought you cared about me.
I did until I didn't. Now I want to break up. I know that you thought I was going to be your free meal ticket, but you'll just have to find another guy to provide for you.
Hey, Tiffany, are you there? You better get back to me right now. I want to know why Rick just told me he was leaving me for you. Did you seriously flirt with my fiancé? I can't believe you would do this to me. Well, it isn't my fault that you brought back someone as handsome as Rick. You really can only blame yourself for all of this. Are you kidding me right now? Is this some kind of a game to you? Rick told me that he doesn't want to get married to me anymore. He told me that you changed his mind after he came over today. How could you do this to your own sister? How could you ruin my wedding like this? Well, you should know that Mom and Dad weren't angry about it at all. In fact, they told me they had always thought Rick and I would make a much better couple. But now I really have to hurry up and go find a dress and someone to do my makeup and all that kind of stuff. So you're really going to go through with all of this? Tammy, did you really think a guy like Rick wanted to marry you? Come on, you have beady little eyes, what can only be described as a 6 head, and have buck teeth. Did you really think that a girl that looks like you had a chance with a guy like Rick? You were practically begging for someone to come and take him from you. Why would you say all that about me? What is the matter with you, Tiffany? I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm the prettier sister out of the two of us, and I think people realized that ever since high school. I was the one dating all the athletes in our school. I'm the one who got regularly scouted by modeling agencies, so of course I would end up with a man as good-looking as me. Did you really think that an ugly little fatty like you could really ever hope to achieve the same? It was obvious you were just into Rick for his money. That isn't true. I wanted to marry Rick because I thought he loved me. I didn't care what his job was. Well, there you go. Now you're just proving that you don't know how the game is played. But of course, an ugly girl like you would have such a naive view of marriage. You just need to realize that you're outclassed by people like Rick and I, and you should know your place. Why are you talking to me like this? Isn't it enough that you stole my fiancé from me? Besides, do you have any idea how hard I try to look pretty when I go out? Well, that's just it. You could have all the makeup in the world, but there's no point in trying to doll up a pig like you. I don't care how hard you think you worked, it was all for naught. How dare you say that to me when every time I would buy makeup or something nice or an accessory, you would always steal it from me? I swear I have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest. Yes, you do. You would come into my room, insult me, and say that a girl like me doesn't deserve nice things. You always did that to me, so that's why I only started buying myself cheap products that I knew you wouldn't want to steal. Well, it's like I said, there was no point in you using anything nice anyways. It was just obvious that those things would be better suited on me. And you can't really be mad at me for reminding you of your place when you forgot it. Just like your engagement with Rick. You certainly do like to shoot for the stars, but that's not where little piggies like you belong. Tiffany, please, you really don't need to talk to me like that. You're being so cruel. Well, this is what you get for thinking you ever had a chance with a guy like Rick. Obviously, someone as handsome and successful as him could only be with a girl as pretty as me. Did you really think that with all the options in front of him to choose from, he was going to go with someone like you? I still don't get why he would want to be with you. Doesn't he realize what a mess you are upstairs? I may not be as pretty as you, but at least I don't have nearly as many issues, and at least I actually have a brain. And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? I mean that it's true, you were dating earlier than I was, but that's also because I was busy studying. Meanwhile, you would ditch class and stay out late over at boys' houses without mom and dad knowing. And just why would some beautiful person like me waste my time studying? I don't need to debase myself like that. If I wanted to succeed in life, all I have to do is find a rich man willing to marry me. So you're saying the difference between you and I is that I understand the value in working for what's mine? Do you really think that not studying was a smart move for you? I remember you falling asleep at your desk almost every night that I would be sneaking out to have fun. And thanks to that, I was able to go to one of the top universities in the country and land a job at an excelled firm. And now thanks to that, I'm already working in upper management and earning a ton. Do you know anyone else our age who can afford a condo like the one I live in? Even Rick's parents thought it was impressive. Oh, so you think that just because you worked hard to get a paying job that means anything? Well, I'm not going to play your little pity party. The only reason you need to work hard is because you could never do what I do. And just what even is it that you do? Well, I used my looks to steal your fiancé away from you, for one, so I suppose you should have been studying dating books instead. All it took was a little smile and some of my girlish charm, and now I'm getting married and you're not. You're really an idiot if you think you're going to get away with this, Tiffany. Well, I guess that means that you let yourself get beat by an idiot then, huh? You really are just pathetic. Do you know that? I have been trying all my life to help you learn how to know your place and live within your means. But for whatever reason, you always think you deserve more just because you work for it. Well, how did that turn out for you? Because I'm going to marry Rick, and you're not. Well, fine then. You can have him. Wait, what? What do you mean? I mean that I'm actually happy. I never thought I was going to get to escape like this, but here we are. So good luck taking care of Rick and his parents. Take care of them? What are you even talking about right now? And why are you so happy that I stole your rich fiance from you? You should be getting mad at me. I mean, now you're not going to get married, and I'm never going to have to work a day in my life. You think you're marrying a rich man, but you are dead wrong. So consider this my way of expressing pity for you. But the truth is that Rick is very, very poor. Poor? Tammy, literally what are you even saying? He's the CFO for a Fortune 500 company. There's no way that he's poor. That's impossible. I suppose all you needed to hear was that he was a CFO and you filled in all the blanks yourself. But Rick only works for his parents' company, whose best days were about 2 decades ago. Now the only thing the company has left to hold on to is its name. What are you saying? I don't understand what you're getting at. Well, I used to work for an investment firm, as you know, and while there, I was once shown Rick's family file, and, well, it wasn't good. They had been taking out loans repeatedly for years and haven't been able to pay them back. Sounds like the whole family is in a lot of trouble financially. Wait, no, this can't be right at all. This doesn't make any sense. If they're borrowing money, then are you trying to tell me that his family is in debt? That's right. And it's not just your typical business debt. They have run their finances deep into the red by this point. That can't be right. Well, it's true. Of course, many businesses take on some debt as startup capital, but this is much different than that. I don't understand. How could it get that bad for them? I thought that his family was rich. Well, apparently they got into some kind of trade war with another firm from a different country, and it was basically a race to the bottom for both of them. So they ended up making far less in sales and needed to take more loans to make up the difference. Are you kidding me? That's a terrible idea. I agree, and I was really shocked when I first heard that this was happening. In fact, Rick was just telling me this after he came to visit us at home. Well, he didn't tell me, but I happened to overhear him talking about this with his parents over the phone. I heard him talking about how even though I was ugly, I had the money they needed. He thought that I was going to use my income to take care of all his family. You mean that even his parents were in on this? That's right. I asked him if his family was having financial trouble, and that's when he came forward to me about all the debt. But I guess he didn't mention any of that to you when you two agreed to get married. But you should know that he's just looking for someone to leech off of. But I had no idea about any of the debt at all, I swear. Well, then you would better go and cancel your engagement to him now, don't you think? Hold on a second, this is all part of your plan, isn't it? You're trying to scare me away from being with Rick so that you can try and take him back from me. Well, you had me going for a while, I'll admit, but your trick isn't going to work on me. It's really not a trick, but whatever. It's your life and you can do what you want with it.
Tammy, you have to help me. I went to tell my parents that I was going to marry your sister, and they were furious with me. They called me an idiot for throwing away all the money you have just to marry your prettier sister, but I had no idea that all our finances were that bad.
Are you stupid or something? You are next in line to take over the family business, and you're telling me you had no idea how bad the situation really was?
I mean, I knew that we were in a little bit of trouble, but I figured it was nothing that I couldn't fix with a little hard work. I just thought my parents were being overdramatic about all this.
Wow, and you're literally the CFO of your parents' company. It is your job to handle all the financial matters.
I know, but is it really true that your sister never even went to college?
That's right. She was too busy sleeping around with all her boyfriends to care about studying at all. And I think with the job she has now, she barely brings in over $10,000 a year.
Her salary is that low.
I don't know if you call money from part-time jobs a salary, but yes, basically. My sister always told herself that working was beneath her and that she was just waiting for the right rich man to come and save her from having to do so.
But I was marrying her because I thought we could live off of her income for a while.
Wow. Well, it sounds to me like you both are more perfect for each other than either of you originally thought. Anyways, now that you and my sister both realize and we're not getting married anymore, I really don't see why I need to be involved in any more of this. You two are both awful people, and I'm glad that you've found each other. Now please leave me alone and never, ever talk to me again. In the end, it took them getting married for Tiffany to finally realize the mess that she had stepped into. About a week after their marriage, Rick officially took over his family's business and understood just how much debt they were all in. As rumors of the company's finances and poor management began to spread, more and more staff ended up quitting. And I hear that the company is really on its last legs these days. As for my sister, with no schooling or work experience, she began to work at a bar serving the kind of men she thought Rick was originally. As for Rick, he began his second job bagging groceries at a supermarket. I am sure that never in a million years did CFO Rick ever think he would be working two jobs like this. Both Rick and Tiffany thought that the other was just what they were looking for, and it turned out that it was just the opposite. All I know is that I'm glad I dodged that bullet and know enough about my family and Rick's to know that I never want anything to do with them again. As for me, I continued with my job and kept climbing the corporate ladder. I still have my nice condo where I live by myself as I ease my way back into the dating pool. After I cut off my sister, I began to buy the nice products that I had avoided in the past, and I already have a date lined up for next week. If I had known that all my life was missing was cutting out my sister from it, I would have done it a long time ago.
Sorry, sis. That's why Charles is going with me. What do you mean by that? Come back, both of you, right now. Leaving a note saying we're eloping? I can't accept this at all. I don't need your approval anyway. That's why we're eloping. Eloping with your own sister's fiancé. Why would you do such a terrible thing? When did you two start dating? We just started dating recently. Charles happened to come to the bar where I work part-time with his friends. After work, I ended up drinking with them. And we hit it off and decided to start dating. What? This is going to ruin your serious and successful life, sis. I guess everyone needs to experience some failures in life. You should thank me for giving you the experience of ups and downs in life. What? I've always been annoyed with you, sis. You've always been the serious one, the one parents liked. Getting into both high school and college of your first choice, and even getting a job at the company our parents brag about so easily. And then getting married so smoothly really pisses me off. That's why I wanted to ruin your life just once. You're lying. You didn't steal my fiancé for such a reason, did you? Well, frankly, I didn't think it would go this well. But Charles, he was more into it than I thought. It seems like he was also dissatisfied with you, sis. What? As soon as I pretended to be a little needy, he confessed his feelings for me. He said I was cuter and more attractive than you. He said he would rather have a girl like me as his wife. No way. Our parents were also telling me to move out and become independent, asking me how long I'm going to be a freeloader. Besides, It seemed fun like in a drama, so we decided to elope. I'll make Charles happy for you too, sis. Hey, Charles, are you really planning to call off our marriage? Are you really saying you'll elope with my sister Isabella? I'm going to marry Isabella, but marrying my fiancé's sister, my serious parents would probably object. That's why I decided to boldly elope with her. We've been together for 5 years. I was happy when you finally proposed, but why are you discarding me like this? Were you unsatisfied with me? Well, it's not dissatisfaction. To be frank, I feel tired when I'm with you. I thought your serious personality was a virtue, but being with someone as perfect as you is nothing but pressure. Huh? You graduated from a more prestigious university than me. You work at a large corporation and your salary is significantly higher than mine. On top of that, your cooking and cleaning are perfect. And you've even successfully dieted for a wedding. It's hard to be with someone who is perfect in every way. What do you mean it's hard? Didn't you say when we started dating that you liked me the way I was? That you fell in love with my dedication to always strive for the best? At first, I was certainly attracted to that aspect of you, and that's why we started dating. But you're just too perfect and it's exhausting. It feels like you're telling me that I'm sloppy. That's... At least if you were bad at cooking or living in a dirty room, if I saw you being sloppy in some way, it would have been better. Wait a minute. I was bad at cooking and hated cleaning, but you said you didn't like sloppy people. So I worked hard to learn cooking and made an effort to clean. And now you're saying I'm too perfect and it's exhausting? That's just cruel. You're the last person who could understand how I feel. She has a lower education level and salary than her. Do you know how miserable I feel every day? Charles. Unlike you, Isabella always supports me. Whenever I take her somewhere, she reacts with a cute, "Wow, I've never been to a place like this." And even if I just treat her at a family restaurant, she's thrilled and says, "I'm so happy, thank you." Men are weak for girls like that. I see. You've always wanted that kind of reaction from me. A couple should fill in each other's shortcomings, but if one side is perfect, there's no point in being a couple. We are supposed to live by helping each other. You, a perfect woman, should live miserably alone for the rest of your life. Goodbye then. Sis, I'm moving back home starting from today, so I'll take over your room. Isabella? Since we eloped, it seems that my sister returned to her parents' home. Apparently, she's living in the room I used to use. So I'm going to take my room back. Sorry, but you'll have to move out of our parents' home. Wait a minute. Why are you coming back? I was worried about your elopement and the cancellation of your engagement with Charles. Our parents told me to come back home. But I can't believe you're coming back. Actually, I broke up with Charles, so that's why I come back. You broke up? Didn't you happily run off to be made happy by Charles? I heard rumors that you got married properly. But it turns out it wasn't as happy as I imagined, so I got a divorce. Charles was more troublesome than I imagined. He sulks if I don't say amazing to him all the time. And he won't treat me even though we're a couple, saying we should go Dutch when we eat out. I can't stand his stinginess anymore. So you got a divorce. And if you get such a young and cute bride, normally you would work harder than ever for your wife, right? But even after 3 years, his salary hasn't changed at all. Despite being a man, he doesn't make nearly as much as you, sis. So I gave up on him and got a divorce. So you've nonchalantly returned to your parents' house. You managed to come back without a shred of embarrassment. What's so embarrassing? We're Returning to your parents' house after a divorce is not uncommon. But my room has been taken by my sister and disappeared. It's seriously unbelievable. What's unbelievable is your head. Neither I nor our parents plan to forgive you. So please, go live on your own somewhere. Impossible! I mean, I don't have money to rent a room. And I realized how easy life was at home during my marriage with Charles. Cooking and cleaning isn't something you just get done for you. It's hard work. So I'm definitely going back home. You're as independent as ever. By the way, I've sold all your belongings. I'm thinking of using this as pocket money. You sold it? Wait a minute. Isabella, where are you now? You're about to go back home, right? I already arrived at home. The front door key had changed, but the back door was open, so I just came in from there. And I immediately sold all your belongings. What? So sis, take care of living alone, because your room is no longer there. Sorry, but I got rid of your stuff on my own. I live alone, though. I can't believe you entered the house without permission. And I wonder whose stuff you ended up selling. You really are a hopeless child. You're living alone already, sis? That's strange. I heard you broke your engagement and pathetically returned home. Yes, I did return to our parents' house because they were so worried. But after that, I decided to sell the house immediately. What? You sold the house? So in the end, I'm living alone now. Our parents are living in a different apartment. What? What's that? I didn't hear anything about that. Why are you selling the house without permission? Don't mess with me. It's because of you guys that I had to let go of the family home. What do you mean it's our fault? News of your elopement spread throughout our hometown in no time, and both I and our parents felt very embarrassed locally. We were whispered about wherever we went, and strange religious groups came saying you were eloped because of evil spirits, and offered suspicious water in jars. What? Such a thing happened? I thought it would calm down at some point, so I endured, but instead more and more strange people started crowding into the house, and both I and our parents were exhausted. So since our father was just about to retire, we sold the family home. So that's what happened. And that led me to live alone again. Our parents are living in a rented apartment in a relaxed place. Wait a minute. Then the belongings I disposed of were not my sister's? Yes, I don't live in that house anymore. So who did I end up throwing away? It's not my sister's, and the house is sold. Whose belongings are those? I don't know anything about that. We sold the house to the real estate agent as is. Whether the real estate agent is renting it out, or they've sold it as a used property, we don't know who's living there. Oh no! So I broke into a stranger's house, right? And then I went ahead and sold their belongings. I've done something really bad, haven't I? Yes, you've done something that's normally a matter for the police. So I reported it. I think the real estate agent and the police will arrive soon, so you should quietly atone for your sins. What? You're joking about reporting, right? You sold me out to the police? I can't let a crime go unpunished, so I'll take my leave now. Everleigh, it's been a while. Have you been well? Oh, it's been a long time. I'm fine, but it looks like you're having a hard time. I heard from Isabella that you got divorced. Yeah, finally I was able to divorce and I feel relieved. Married life with her was the worst. I wonder why I even married her. Huh? At first, her dependency on me was cute, but she stayed like that forever. She doesn't work, she doesn't do anything around the house. She relies on me for everything. I got tired of that kind of married life. But that's the marriage you wanted. You hated me because I make everything perfect, right? You chose to elope with her because she's the exact opposite of me.
I finally understood. I was just jealous of you, who are superior to me. But deep down, I've always loved you only. So please, Everleigh, will you marry me?
What?
I'm sorry for hurting you 3 years ago. The pain of your little sister and fiancé running away together must have been so sad. But from now on, I will definitely make you happy. I will become a man who is not ashamed to stand beside you. I won't say something pathetic like getting tired of being too perfect. So please marry me.
I'm sorry, I have a wedding ceremony tomorrow.
What? A wedding ceremony? Wait, don't tell me, are you the bride at this wedding?
Yes, I met a wonderful person and we're getting married. He is a person who respects my efforts to aim for perfection. He told me he wants to elevate each other by being with me.
No, don't be fooled by such a man. He will disappear from your sight just like I did before. If you're going to get married, please marry me.
Thank you for your concern, but it's okay. The groom is a person with the same academic background as me, working at the same company.
What?
He doesn't seem to feel any pressure from someone like me. In fact, when I told him the reason why I broke up with you, he just laughed. Is that enough to pressure you? He said. You have a very sensitive ex-boyfriend, he commented.
What did you say?
He told me that even if my salary increases significantly more than his, he will not feel ugly jealousy, but rather it will motivate him. He told me that it's a happy thing to have someone better than yourself nearby. I'm marrying such a person tomorrow.
Wait, Everleigh. I finally realized that too. So won't you come back to me?
I respectfully decline. Well, I have final preparations for tomorrow's wedding ceremony. Take care, Charles. What should I do, sis? I got billed nearly $15,000 from the real estate agency. They said they'll take me to the police without question if I don't prepare the money right away. Oh, you haven't been caught yet. They're rather kind real estate agents. They're not kind at all. I mean, $50,000? I obviously can't afford that amount. But the amount you sold without permission and the trespassing, you should be glad it only ended up being that much. Hey, could you help me out if you don't mind? You're still working at a big company, right? You should have some savings. I do, but I have no obligation to help you. Then, at least, could you tell me where our parents are? I've been trying to contact them many times since yesterday, but I can't get through. I want to go back home soon. I want to live with Mom and Dad again. But you were eager to leave home when you eloped, weren't you? You hated our nagging parents quite a bit. And now you want to live with them again. How brazen of you. Besides, you're the one who sold the house. Well, that is... Well, just to be sure, I'll try to confirm with their parents. But as I expected, they said they don't want to see your face ever again. Dad and Mom both said the same thing. Beside you? Wait, are you with them now? Yes, because today is my wedding ceremony. Dad and Mom are here to celebrate their daughter's wedding. Sis, you're getting married? Thanks to you taking Charles away, I was able to meet a wonderful person. While I'm grateful for that, I can never forgive you for what you did. So take care. If you don't have money, you should properly pay for your crimes at the police station. Afterwards, she supposedly visited various consumer finance companies, begging for mercy, and somehow managed to prepare $15,000 for the settlement. However, in order to repay that, she is reportedly working in the nightlife industry now. According to rumors, her attitude towards customers is pretty poor, and she vents her work stress by gambling and visiting host clubs. Consequently, it seems that her debts are increasing even more, and it seems that her former fiancé Charles tried to return home at one point. but he was kicked out with the words, "You disgrace, don't ever show your face here again." And now he is reportedly living and working in a factory nearby. Moreover, I've heard that he is desperately trying to find a spouse during his days off. However, he keeps complaining, saying things like, "I refuse to be with a woman who earns less than my ex-girlfriend," or, "It's impossible to be with a woman who can't cook as well as my ex-girlfriend," resulting in absolutely no progress in his endeavor.